Overwatch Season 2 has been a mess. There's a lot of little things. Like right now, look at this Hanzo gameplay. Look carefully. His bow has some random recoil where it jumps back into the air, being super distracting. And guess what? There's been no hotfix. There's been no news from Blizzard. It wasn't even in the patch notes. Is it a bug? Is it a nerf? Who knows? Literally, there's so many little bits of nuance, but I'm going to talk about the overarching issues while glancing over some little ones. Like I mentioned, the Hanzo bug, or if I hit options, my entire game freezes. Just if I want to change the freaking audio. No idea what is going on. But all that means nothing compared to the complete state of Doomfist, Roadhog, and the overall balance and meta of the game. Holy crap, dude, it is so bad. In Season 1, Sojourn was overwhelmingly good. It was basically suppressing. It was terrible. It was hard to play against her. There was the Sombra issue, whatever. Okay, the biggest issue, it takes time for Blizzard to fix them. They want an ever-evolving game with slow patches, and we're feeling it again because the patch was terrible. It was terrible. There is Sojourn nerfs in quotations, but then with Mercy and the new changes on her, she's actually kind of semi-buffed. And if you don't agree with that, it's fine. You can at least agree that she's still dominant, okay? It didn't fix Sojourn. Then they overbuffed Doomfist, and this is coming from a Doomfist and Roadhog main. If I'm playing tank, I'm either playing Doomfist or I'm playing Roadhog, okay? I am shit at Doomfist, fine, that's okay. But still, even through his buffs, I'm not oblivious. They overdid it. And Roadhog, they have never dealt with. Even though in Season 1, people were still complaining about it. There was honest issues about the one-shot. There was things that needed to be addressed. And Blizzard just like said, lol, whatever, I'm just going to ignore it. You know, if we ignore it, maybe it'll fix itself. But then it got worse as Doomfist became meta. And Roadhog is quite the counter to Doomfist. So it puts him all the way at number 1. And I want you to watch this game carefully. Please watch this game carefully. I'm playing Doomfist, getting shit on. I'm not doing well. That is my fault. And watch how the scoreboard and game pace changes when I switch to Roadhog. It happens in a little bit, and if you don't even want to listen to my commentary, mute and watch the game. Because the minute I switch to Roadhog, it is wild how everything changes. Like, it is insane. It is insane. It doesn't matter if my team is too far away. It doesn't matter if they're helping or not. It gets wild. I switched to Roadhog, GG, well played. And this is an issue. A huge issue. The absolute state of Season 2 is so freaking sad. There's a reason people like Stylosa have mentioned that they stopped playing ranked and only playing casual. It's what I'm doing because it's just way more fun. It's way more stress-free. There's a reason Flat says he doesn't want to play. Like the dude literally said, I think it was in the podcast or something, he literally said, like, I don't even want to play. I just don't want to. He's completely over the current state of Overwatch in Season 2. And there's a few reasons to that. And a lot of it is just straight up on Blizzard. There's a lot of reasons. Like, for example, the patches and patch frequency I've been freaking bashing since Season 1. The first mid-season cycle, when the patches came out and they weren't enough and they took too long to address issues, I complained. I said, if Blizzard doesn't fix that, we're going to feel it more and more. And guess what's happening? We're feeling it more and more. For example, the Genji nerf, something I also complained about, but a little bit on the down low because I don't know why. When I complained about the Genji nerf, people at first were like kind of like hating, like, oh, you're just someone who plays Genji, which is true. But in the end, let's take a look at the Genji nerf, right? Blizzard said one major thing. Genji is too strong because of the DPS passive in which the movement speed buff allowed him to dominate the team fights too aggressively, allowed him to snowball, okay? Blizzard said that, whatever. They nerfed Genji for that reason. But then in Season 2, they went ahead and yoinked that shit straight out. There is no longer movement speed on the DPS passive, but instead of Blizzard rebuffing Genji, at least to his normal state before the nerfs, just to see, some hindsight 2020, a little bit of thinking, they didn't. They just left him. So Genji already got a nerf that brought him down quite a lot. Most people would agree on that. And then the DPS passive got changed, which completely nerfs Genji again. It is a ghost nerf, but it does nerf him, and now he's weak. Like, that's it. Genji had the spotlight for 2 weeks. Well, on the flip side, Roadhog has been dominant for some time now, since launch, basically. It took him some time for people to adapt to him, but still, he was strong since launch. Always has been. I've been playing him since launch. I always felt he was strong, but I didn't realize how broken he was until the game continued to evolve. And to be honest, this doesn't end. Like, there's a lot of instances where hindsight was completely unmet. For example, Blizzard mentioned the passive change on the DPS should help Ashe, and this is because Ashe's play rate is pretty low. We're not seeing much Ashe. I mean, let's be honest, when's the last time you've really seen an Ashe? She's not really dominant in play right now, which is okay, but if they really wanted to see her in play, maybe they could have just buffed her a little bit, but instead they changed the passive hoping it would buff her, but at the same time they changed the passive not realizing it would nerf Genji. So this thought process on the balancing team and the changes has just been disheartening, to say the least. Like, Doomfist was so useless, man. It was Boopfist. He needed a buff so badly. He was unplayable. He was considered a throw pick, for God's sake. Like, no joke, right? No joke. Everyone knew this. It was just universally. From bronze, since when from bronze to top 500, you'll have people agreeing? Well, people could agree on Doomfist. So Overwatch said, let's buff him. Good. That's great. But it's no secret that they took it way too freaking far. And where does this issue come from? Think about it. Comes from slow patches. Instead of patching once a week, maybe like every Tuesday or every other week, they're doing mid-season and late season. The mid-season is a month. We're talking about 2 patches. We're talking about a patch a month. Basically, there we go. We're talking about a patch a month. That is too slow if they want to be this crazy. Honestly, buffing Doomfist that crazy was pretty funny. It was even entertaining at the start. Like, it was fun. But it wears off pretty freaking fast. Meaning by the 2-week mark, it might be time to shake it up a little. Maybe nerf Doomfist and Roadhog just a little bit to see what other tanks can shine. Maybe buff Junker Queen a little bit more because your buffs were not enough. Clearly, she is still outshadowed. So just buff her a little bit, nerf Roadhog and Doomfist a little bit, and then let the next 2 weeks play out. Maybe it'll be very balanced. Maybe things won't be right, but at least you're making changes and you're tuning consistently. And this has 2 benefits. 1, you'll get a more balanced game by the end of it, as long as you're continuously tuning bit by bit instead of over tuning. And 2, the meta and gameplay will continuously change even throughout the season instead of these long periods of 1 to 2 month waits. That's just ridiculous, right? It's just too long and it creates a lot of issues. I mean, look at this poor Mercy, man. Like, I just chased her down like a freaking animal, and then look what I'm doing to this. Like, I'm just look at this Roadhog gameplay, man. Oh my god, bro. Holy, I don't right? I'm not going crazy, right? It can't just be me. I was like feeding, and then I'm on top of the leaderboard just because I switched to Roadhog, hit a few hooks. Like, I have fun. I love playing Roadhog. I even say sorry for them, you know, like I feel bad, but I'm not playing ranked. It's not a huge deal. But even with all that being said, there's one more thing I want to quickly address, and it's good because a lot of content creators have come out and said it. So a lot of content creators had early access, right? I wasn't part of this little circle, and there was a big theme going on where they were pretty much consistently telling everyone that counter picks are dead, right? And I was so confused. I didn't quite understand it. Hell, I even argued a couple content creators in the comments. Maybe I should have toned it down, but I was even arguing this point. I didn't get my hands on the early beta, but I was telling them, how can counterpicking essentially be gone? Like, I could not process it. I'm like, did they rework every single hero? They said no. Okay, so in my head, I'm like, how can, logistically speaking, the core gameplay fundamental of at least some sort of soft counterpicking be gone? But they were assisted. They kept pushing it. They kept saying freaking counterpicking is gone. I'm like, okay, I don't understand why. Now, today I understand they admit their mistakes, not because it's their fault, but because they were trusting the word of Blizzard, which obviously was a mistake, because the word of Blizzard continuously told them that counterpicking is done. They were trusting Blizzard and then relaying that message. Now, of course, Blizzard's hindsight is only money, and the whole idea was to hopefully soften the blow of heroes locked behind battle passes by the time the info reached us. That was the whole point. It's so snake. It's actually extremely sneaky. Like, let's be honest. Like, it's beyond sneaky. But it is what happened. They even implemented the option where when you switch, you keep 30% of your ult charge, which makes counterpicking even more prominent. But we still have people like, of course, the heroes will continuously be locked behind a battle pass for the sake of money. So yeah, we've also got Blizzard's direction of communication being very vague, inconsistent, and just straight up lying, to be honest. So yeah, I'm not extremely hopeful, but lucky for me, I just play casual, hook some people, one-shot them, and laugh. So I'm chilling, but I'm still going to speak out about it. Let me know what you guys think down below.